Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this Petal Passion personalized clear mount photo album. This is quick and easy to do and wonderful for you to personalize an album for a special event. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how I get started. Okay, to start building your book, you're going to start with your cardstock that you need to cut. You're going to cut 2 pieces of Daffodil Delight cardstock, 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, a mat from Old Olive that measures 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and a piece of our Petal Passion Designer Series paper that measures 4 by 6. For the inside pages, you're going to cut 2 mats that measure 4 1/2 by 6 1/2 from the Old Olive again, and you're going to pick 5 different patterns that you like for the pages themselves that measure 8 by 6. And then you're ready to start. So let me show you how I built this book. Okay, you're going to begin layering that Old Olive mat onto the Daffodil Delight and then adding your Designer Series paper onto that first cover. And then you're going to flip it over. Now I do like to use a strong adhesive for this step and on this book because you want this to hold together. And since we're adding photos on top of it, there'll be some weight. So I'm going to add the inside mat this time to the other side of that Daffodil Delight cardstock, and I'm going to repeat with the second cover. And now that I've got my 2 covers done, I can set these aside and get started with the inside pages. Now you are going to take these 5 pages and you're going to fold them in half. Okay, you can use your bone folder for this if you'd like to get a nice sharp crease, but the main thing is you line up those edges and get them nice and straight. Now at this point I've taken my 5 half sheets and I am going to rotate some of them. All of them right now are opening to the left side, that's where the open is, and the crease is on the right. And so for every other one of these I'm going to flip them upside down and turn them the other way. Okay, once I've got my pages flipped, I'm ready to start adhering. So once again, I'm going to take that heavy-duty adhesive and I am going to go around all the perimeters. And at this point, I want to make sure that opening is to the left and my next page opens to the right. And I'm going to line up that edge carefully, touching the very corners together, and adhere. And as you can see, we're going to start this fold that will be an accordion fold for you. So we're going to add adhesive again. And since the opening is here to the right, I'm going to make sure that my opening goes to the other side or the left. And I am going to adhere that. Opening to the left, so I'm going to make sure this one opens to the right and do it again. And I'm going to do this for the last 2 pages quickly. Okay, once I have all 5 of those pages adhered together, I am ready to decide which side I want to attach to my covers. So let me get my front cover again, and you're going to know it's the front cover because it's got that Designer Series piece of paper on it. And I am going to flip that over to the back and add adhesive to the side that I want. And in this case, I want to make sure that that flap or that open page is to the right. I'm going to flip that over once I have the adhesive on it, line it up, and adhere. And then I'm going to take the second cover that doesn't have any Designer Series paper on it and get ready to adhere that. Now I have found the easiest way to do this is to put the adhesive on the Designer Series paper and make sure on this you get it nice and sufficiently covered because this is going to take the weight of the book for the most part. And then I found that making it line up is easiest by flipping this over, lining up the top and bottom corners, and then simply adhering down. And I'm burnishing it with my fingers here so it's got a nice adhesion to it. And there we go. There's my book all ready to decorate. So let me show you what I did with that. Okay, to decorate the inside of the book, I'm simply going to open it up. You need to decide which format you're going to be used, whether you're going to be looking at your book in the landscape or the portrait. And for this project, I'm going to do portrait, since most of us are going to be using our phones. So I'm going to open up to the first page, and I'm going to decorate this side. Now I am going to use a mat of Daffodil Delight, and this happens to measure 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, and I'm keeping my mats in this book fairly consistent. And at this point, if you want to, you can use your snail, or you can continue using your fast fuse, whichever you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to attach my mat, and then I'm going to take this Whisper White piece of cardstock that measures 5 by 3, and I'm going to adhere that to the Daffodil Delight. And this is going to give me a journaling page or someplace to jot some notes. And then I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper that measures 1 1/2 by 3. And I'm going to adhere that to the bottom here. And then I'm ready to open this up and decorate the next page, which is right here. And for this one, I've got the same mat, the 5 1/4 by 3 1/4, the 5 by 3, and then a piece of 5" by 1/2" strip here that I'm going to use. So I'm going to adhere the Daffodil Delight down to my page, and then add the Whisper White piece. And then I'm going to add this cute little strip of the paper on the left-hand side, and you can use either side for this. Really depends on what you like and the pattern you want to use. And then for this final page, I've created a cute little pocket, so let me open this up. And part of the trick here is to make sure that you're laying flat so that when you adhere, you're in good shape. Now for this step, I am using a piece of Designer Series paper that measures 4 2 1/2 inches, and another piece that measures the same width, the 4 by 3/4 inches. And I am going to add, let's see, I think I like the darker color, and I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive along this outside edge. And I'm using my multi-purpose because I want to make sure the center of this pocket is clear. And I have a little thinner line of adhesive with this. So I've adhered that down. Oh, and I think I like the vine side better, so I am going to add this 3/4 inch strip here to the pocket simply by adding that. And then I'm going to build my pocket piece. So I am going to take the Designer Series paper and add it to my Whisper White cardstock again, simply by running a little adhesive down that side. And once again, this is a 5" piece that is a 1/2 inch wide, and putting it on that Whisper White, and then the Whisper White is going to get adhered onto that Daffodil Delight piece, and there you go. I can slip it right in the pocket once that Designer Series paper is adhered for journaling. Okay, I've got the front side of my book done, so let me open up the pages so that you can see them. Hopefully you can see that there. And now I'm ready to do the back side. So I'm going to flip this over, and my cover is going to be on the right here. And I'm going to decorate this leaf pattern, so I'm just going to flip it over to where I can see it. I'm thinking that'll look the nicest, so I'm going to adhere my Daffodil Delight down simply by running some adhesive across the edge again and adhering, and then my Whisper White piece. And I've stayed fairly consistent with these mats, so this one is going to be the 5 1/4 by 3 1/4 for the Daffodil, and then 5 by 3 for the Whisper White. And then I think I'm going to use the stripes, and I'm going to add this 3/4 inch piece that measures 3 inches wide across the bottom there. And now I've got my pages finished, so I am ready to add my adhesive across the back. And I am using tear and tape for this because I want it nice and sturdy, because when I adhere this into the plastic case, I want to make sure that it stay in place as we open and use our album. So I'm going to add quite a bit of adhesive along the back here. And another strip. There we go. And I'm going to set this aside because the first thing I want to do is decorate my clear mount case before I add this. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, to decorate the clear mount case and finish off my album, I've taken a piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper. I've cut it 10.5 inches by 7 inches, and I am going to open up this clear mount case and find the little plastic sleeve and simply slip this paper into the case. And this is the first step I'm doing, so I want to make sure it is where I want it, and then I'm going to close it, and I am going to press my fingers along the spine here so that I have got that crease mark showing me where to score and fold. Because I'm personalizing these albums, I've used my large letter framelit dies and then the oval framelits dies, and I'm going to set that down here and adhere that in place, and then slide it back in, line up that crease, and it's decorated now. So I'm ready to add my album. Okay, remember we've added a lot of tear and tape to the back of this cover so that it's nice and stable and it'll stick to this clear mount case. And so I'm finished peeling off of all of the protective covers there, and I'm going to line that up in my case and burnish it in place. You can open it up and make sure that you've got that nice and secure, and rubbing your fingers up and down those taped areas. And that's it. There's your personal photo album made with our clear mount case. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. It's open 24/7 and you can get there from my blog. Thanks for joining me.